Hey everybody, it's Craig with Smartphoneenvy. Got a great face-off for us today. A couple of Sprint heavyweights, the Samsung Epic Touch 4G and the HTC EVO 3D. Before we get to the face-off, I want to thank my friends over at Best Buy Mobile for setting me up with the HTC EVO 3D. If you're in need of a smartphone, make sure you stop by and pick it up from Best Buy Mobile. All right, let's kick off our face-off. Samsung Epic Touch 4G weighs in at 129 grams. It's the lighter of the two. It's got a 4.5-inch Super AMOLED Plus capacitive display, resolution of 480 by 800. Also offers Gorilla Glass. Upper left-hand corner, front-facing 2-megapixel camera for video calls, and below the display, 4 touch-sensitive keys: main menu key, home key, back key, and search key. On the back, 8-megapixel camera, autofocus LED flash, video capture, 1080p Full HD. Battery underneath the battery cover, you've got a 1800 milliamp hour battery rated at 8 hours and 40 minutes of talk time. All right, up on top is the 3.5mm headphone jack. Right-hand side, power and lock key. On the bottom is a microphone as well as a micro USB port. On the left-hand side is your volume rocker, and the phone speaker is down here in the lower left-hand corner. All right, let's get to our HTC EVO 3D. Weighs in at 170 grams, so definitely heavy, also a bit thicker. Offers a 4.3-inch 3DS Super LCD display. QHD resolution of 540 by 960, has a 1.3 megapixel front-facing camera in the upper right-hand corner, and again, 4 touch-sensitive keys below the display: home key, main menu key, back key, and search key. On the back, you've got stereophonic 5-megapixel cameras with dual LED flash autofocus, video capture 720p. Battery underneath the battery cover, 1730 milliamp hour battery, rated at 7.5 hours of talk time. Up on top is a microphone, power and lock key, as well as a 3.5mm headphone jack. On the right-hand side, volume rocker up and down, dedicated camera key, as well as your switch to go from 2D to 3D video capture. On the left-hand side is the micro USB port, and on the bottom you have a microphone. All right, let's get these two up and running here. Moving on, as far as processors, on the Epic Touch, I knew I was going to say that. On the Epic Touch 4G, you've got Samsung's Exynos 1.2 gigahertz dual-core processor, and the EVO 3D. You've also got a 1.2 gigahertz dual-core processor, this one Qualcomm Snapdragon. As far as internal storage, memory on the Epic Touch 4G, 16 gigabytes. On the EVO 3D, it's 3.7 gigabytes. They both have 1 gigabyte of RAM. Wi-Fi, Epic Touch 4G, 802.11 ABGNN, support for DLNA, HDMI out via a micro USB adapter. On the EVO 3D, 802.11 BGNN, support for DLNA, HDMI out again through a micro USB adapter. Both offer Bluetooth version 3. Epic Touch 4G with support for A2DP, also high-speed data transfer. On the EVO 3, just support for A2DP. Both phones offer GPS with support for AGPS. Both offer or can be used as Wi-Fi hotspots. Operating systems: Android 2.3.4 Gingerbread on the Epic Touch 4G, Android 2.3.3 on the EVO 3D. As far as user interface, Epic Touch 4G has Samsung's TouchWiz 4.0 and the EVO 3D has HTC's Sense 3.0. As you can see, I hit the Android market. Let's run our Quadrant Standard Benchmark test on both. Interested to see what we get back here. Good clean start on both. I'm going to let them run all the way through, give you a look at the graphics on both of the displays, and I've got both of the displays set to default brightness. Again, they're both running 1.2 gigahertz dual-core chips. You've got Samsung's Exynos in the Epic Touch 4G and Qualcomm Snapdragon in the HTC EVO 3D. Both offer 1 gigabyte of RAM. Almost through on the Epic Touch 4G. One more 3D test to run. There we go. All right, we've got our results back on the Epic Touch 4G, and I can't see it from there. From here, it's 3242 on the Epic Touch, and on the EVO, it's tough to read. Looks like 2007. So our winner on the Quadrant Standard Benchmark test was easily hands down the Epic Touch 4G. All right, let's run our unofficial speed test. I've got advanced task killer on both, so let's kill all the background tasks and we'll go to the home screen. I'll try and kick these off as evenly as I can. That looked to be the Epic Touch 4G. Let's try maps. That was definitely the Epic Touch 4G. Let's try contacts. That was the Epic Touch 4G. Let's try messaging. That seemed to be the Epic Touch 4G as well. Let's try the market on both. And again, they're both running off the same Wi-Fi network, and that is definitely the EVO 3D. Let's try the cameras on both. And that was the Galaxy, I'm sorry, I said that again, Epic Touch 4G. And let's try the let's try Fandango third party. Looks pretty even at the moment. Again, they're both running off the same Wi-Fi network. Let's see if this skips the ad. It doesn't like to skip the ad, so we'll do it this way. Here we go. And next, it looks like the Epic Touch 4G is running a little quicker so far. Let's try playing the trailer, see who loads that up first. Alright, and it looks like our Epic Touch 4G was our unofficial speed test winner. Next up, let's run our YouTube comparison, and we'll start them out. Again, they're both running off the same Wi-Fi network. They're both set to default to play in HQ, and we're off. And we got the ad on one, but not on the other. But again, the Epic Touch 4G spooled it up a little bit quicker. Alright, let's switch these. And let's play another one. So I'll get the lighting the same on both. Again, I've got the display set to default brightness. And here we go. Alright, there's a look at the YouTube comparison, and it looked as if the Epic Touch 4G spooled up both of the videos quicker than the EVO 3D. Alright, let's try a little gaming on both of our combatants, and we'll start out on the EVO 3D, and we'll run the capsule course on Asphalt 2. Okay, remember, I'm doing this through a camera, so be gentle with your opinions. Aha! Good start. Get off of me, buddy. Oh. All right. There's the Epic. Excuse me, EVO. Do the same thing on the Epic. Ah. All right. A little bit of gaming on both of our combatants. Alright, let's do a little navigating on our two contestants here. Navigate to pavilions. Alright, we got a list on both. Oops. Alright. Alright, so we had no problems on the Epic Touch 4G. Still waiting for the GPS to grab on the EVO 3D. Take a look at the map on the Epic Touch. And again, you can double tap to zoom in. There we go. We've got the GPS lock on the, let's zoom out a little bit on the EVO 3D. Let's see how it does on a redraw. Pretty quick, no problems. Let's get us to satellite view over here as well. And we do have our voice guided turn by turn, although I haven't heard it yet. Is it on mute? Nope. I'll probably start talking as soon as I start moving around. Let's see how the map, how it handles a redraw. Doesn't seem to be quite as fast, but QHD display looks great. And we can pinch to zoom, double tap to zoom in. Get a little bit further out. See how it redraws again. Pretty quick. Not seem to be quite as quick as the Epic Touch 4G, but pretty quick, and that QHD display looks great. So there's navigation, and both of them passed with flying colors, although it did take the EVO 3D a bit longer to grab onto the GPS signal.